In this note video, we're going to look at different situations and see if they go together. Like, for example, if these intercepts go with these graphs, or if this equation goes with this graph, or if this equation goes with this table, or basically if anything matches. It doesn't look like this, but you do have a handout, so make sure it's a handout that you're not writing on your own piece of paper. So make sure you have one. Do they match? So let's look at one example here. And I can't really go over every type of example because you could be given so much information, but we'll just look at one in particular. So do they match? I have these intercepts and I have this equation. So I need to see if these intercepts match this equation. So let's figure out. Remember, the x-intercept is when y is 0. So I'm going to rewrite this equation, well, x-intercept. I'm going to rewrite this equation, but instead of writing y, I'm going to put 0 equals 24. Alright? Remember, this goes away. I'm left with 6x equals 24. And then I divide by 6. And then the x-intercept is 24 divided by 6, which is 4. And did it say the x-intercept is 4? Excuse me, yeah. So that was true. Let's see if the y-intercept is 0, 6. So the y-intercept is when x is 0. Or sorry, yeah, so we do the y-intercept. So we put a 0 in for x. Plus 4y equals 24. This goes away. You're left with 4y equals 24. And you divide by 4, and y equals 6. Was the y-intercept 6 here? Yes, it was. So when I need sentences here. I can't just have yes, because you have a 50-50 shot at that. So I need to put something like, I need to basically see all that work, first of all. And then your answer needs to be something like, yes, they match. And basically explain to me what you did. I'll put because when I solved for intercepts, I got the correct answer. So they match because when I solved, how the answers matched. Now let me be very, very, very clear. If I just get this with no work, I'm not going to accept that because you have a 50-50 shot of saying yes or no. I must see the work to back up what you're talking about. Okay? Alright, so I got another example. For you, you turn over your paper. Do they match? And I have a graph and I have an equation. Okay? So basically, do these two things match? It's kind of hard to see on my video, but you can see it on your paper. So one way to do this is to solve for y and put it in the calculator. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I draw my line. I'm going to solve for y, choose my best friend. I'm going to minus 10x. Okay? And I get that away. I'm left with a positive 2y equals. These things are different because that's an x and that's not, so I put them side by side. I am a math person, so I tend to put my x first. I'm putting minus 10 because it's a negative 10. And then I divide by a positive 2. Okay? So y equals negative 10 divided by 2 is a negative 5x. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. Okay? So this is the equation. And I'm going to show you a couple things that you can do with this. First of all, the slope here is a negative 5. Is this a negative slope? And you say, no, that's a positive slope. So automatically I know the answer is no. Okay? But there's another way you could do it as well. You could go to y equals in your calculator. Hang on, I am clearing the memory. Whoop, hang on. I'm going to clear the memory of my calculator because I don't know what's going on with it. I'm going to go to y equals on my calculator and then type in the equation that I got. Negative 5x minus 5. Kind of hard to see. And then go to graph. Does this graph look anything like this graph? Do they match? And you're going to say, no, it doesn't match. So when you answer it, or hang on, before even that, and this also has a y-intercept of negative 5. Does this graph cross the y-axis at negative 5? Then you're going to say, no, it does not. I mean, there's so many different things you could say. So you could write no, because when I solved, they didn't have the right slope, or no, when I put it in the calculator, they didn't match. If you were to do this on your assignment, though, I would really rather you do it, like, put it in the calculator to see. Because what if this was a positive 5x? So it was a positive slope, but it didn't match up. You know what I mean? So put it in the calculator and see. But I'll go ahead and put input no, because I solved for y. and put it in the calculator. And the graphs didn't match. Did not match. I need an explanation, not just a no. Okay, and I need to see the work. So like I need to see you solving for y. Yet again, don't assume a positive slope, that they match. What if this slope was 5, but this slope was 2 or something, okay? So make sure you're doing that. And then the last example. Do they match? I have a equation and I have a table. Okay? If you can, I would recommend you solving for y. Always. So we're going to draw our line. I'm y, 2 is my best friend. I kick out 14, so I subtract 14. This goes away. You're left with 2y equals. Can I subtract these things or are they different? They're different. So 8x minus 14. And then we divide by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4x. And negative 14 divided by 2, I'll tell you, is negative 7. Okay? So that's the equation. And I need to see if this table matches it. The easiest way to do that is to go to y equals in your calculator and type in the equation, which is 4x minus 7. If you can see that, kind of hard to see. And then go to the table, which is second graph. So second graph, and see if these points match these points. It is very hard to see the table on my calculator, but you can see it in yours. 0, negative 7, it's hard to see, but that does say 0, negative 7. 4, 9, I'll go down to 4, and it's hard to see, but that does say 4, 9. And then 10, 33, I'll go all the way down to 10. And yet again, hard to see, but that does say 33. So yes, this equation does match this table. So you're going to put yes, and then explain how. So yes, they match. Because I solve for y. And looked at the graph. And they matched. However you want to explain what you did. Okay? But make sure there's a period, make sure you have a capital letter, make sure you're not randomly capitalizing words. There you go.